Hello, welcome back to a new vlog. Weird angle, I know. I am currently just kind of holding the camera on its little ball head at the moment because I have everything set up to put it on a tripod because I'm about to make some changes in my reading room. We're going to be swapping out the desk and we're going to be hopefully building a new bookshelf, swapping some stuff around in here to create a better functioning space. I'm hoping, cross my fingers. So I'm going to throw you over onto the tripod and I'm just going to put an audiobook on and get on with things. I haven't decided which audiobook I'm going to listen to yet. Let me just have a quick look at my options. I think I'm going to go with The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, which is a thriller. It's about a young couple who are desperate to have children of their own, and they succeed in that, but with unsettling consequences. So I don't really know what that means or where this book's going to go. I think this is one that Katie Colson read a while back, and she said it was really good. So I'm going to listen to The Perfect Child on audiobook whilst I rejig things. Hopefully things go well and the room is more functional, because at the moment I can't move in here. I'm not comfortable. I need the books off the floor. I need the books put away. I'm also going to be heavily cutting down on special editions I buy, because some of the book boxes, I feel like they're not putting as much effort into their special editions. There's stuff about them that annoys me, like leaving the advertisements on, such as New York Times #1 bestseller. That's fine if you're trying to attract someone in a bookshop to pick up the book. But people buying special editions aren't just people browsing a bookshop. If someone's going to buy a special edition, it's because of how it looks. It's because they're attracted to having something unique and different and beautiful on their shelves, and because the book means something to them. Whether that be they like the artwork of the actual edition, or whether it's one of their favourite books and they just want a special edition of it. Either way, I feel like the advertisements, like with the author blurbs and declarations of what number bestseller you are or what list you're on, New York Times, whatever, I feel like, why is that on the book? You're ruining the covers. It's just really annoying. I recently noticed that quite a lot of the sequels for Fairy Loot have that, and then I noticed it's actually on the first covers as well that come in the book boxes, and that's just really annoyed me. So I'm not getting my sequels. I've decided I'm not getting a load of the sequels. I don't even know if I'm gonna like the first books in the series, so I want to catch up on my reading and like get through the subscription books I have, and then I think I'll be in a better place to like make a decision about which subscriptions I actually want to keep. Book subscriptions that I absolutely love at the moment are The Broken Binding. They have been taking the blurbs off at the request of subscribers, which is great, love that. Also, Bookish Box always seem to do really unique covers, redesigned covers, love that. And Mystic Box and Arcane Society just create the most beautiful books. So those are my top three at the moment, I think. Like, the UK book boxes, I really feel like they need to pull their finger out. I'm sorry. I feel like they're flagging. I feel like they're really flagging compared to other book boxes. There's also new UK book boxes that have started up. There's so many book boxes on the market now. UK book boxes need to pull their finger out, because these other book boxes are popping up and their editions, they're putting in the effort. They're getting artists on board. They're redesigning covers. They're doing the work. I'm also receiving a high amount of damaged books, and then the replacements come and they're also damaged. And I just feel like I'm spending a lot of my time contacting these companies saying, "Hi, can I get what I paid for, please?" Like, I think the last 4 boxes I received from a certain company have been damaged. So it's like, I'm actually getting to the point where I'm dreading opening them. That's not fun. Why am I paying for something that I am dreading opening? Because I'm like, oh, is it going to be damaged again? And then it is, and then I have to contact them. Anyway, I wasn't planning on starting this video with a rant, but there we go. Let's get on with some stuff and sort this room out so that I can function and that my brain can work, because it's not working right now and it needs to work. I'm done. Let's continue. Okay, so currently I have some space here against this wall, but there's an air conditioning unit here, so I'm thinking that's going to go here. We're going to swap out this table, and then we're going to build another bookshelf to go up here. Okay, first job, we're going to have a drink, because we're dehydrated and we haven't drank enough. Because this says I'm on 7 AM, and it is 2:39.
Brilliant Audio presents The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry.
Good morning. I had to stop filming yesterday because I got very, very hot trying to rearrange the room, and I had to take my shirt off because I was too hot, and I'm not going to film that. A lot of progress was made on the room. I'm not quite sure I like it. I will show you the situation in a little while, but right now I am about to watch Red, White and Royal Blue on Amazon Prime because it just came out today, and my subscription also runs out today, so I'm going to try and fit that in. Hopefully the subscription doesn't end whilst I'm watching it because I will lose my mind. I haven't read the book, but I really liked the look of the trailer for this film, and I know a lot of people love the book, so I'm just going straight in with the movie.
Tell me something, Your Majesty. Yes, Alex. Because when I write the history of my life, I wanted to include you and my love for you. History, huh? Bet we could make some.
I love this song. Hello, so it's Saturday. We've just been out to Manchester for the day. Went looking around at a load of the board game shops. So we went in Waterstones, Travelling Man, Forbidden Planet, and I have some new board games that I have purchased. We've recently just been trying to buy a couple new games, mainly for two-player purposes, but I found this one, which I thought looked quite cool. It's called Unearth, and I don't know, I really like the graphics and the artwork on it. And it's some sort of game where you have dice and you place dice on the cards. So I thought that looked quite cool. And then this one I've had my eye on for a little bit while I've been doing my research. I got Flamecraft, which I think was started as a Kickstarter a couple of years back. This one you have dragons and you have a little town and you've got to do up the town for the dragons. It just looks really cute. So I got those two games from Travelling Man. We had really nice tapas. I didn't film any of it. I didn't film any of Manchester. I get icky about filming in public. I can't do it. I can't do it. Even just trying to get a shot inside a shop, I feel like I'm doing something wrong for some reason. We also got some lovely donuts and cookies from Gooey, which I've never tried before. We wanted to eat in there, but there wasn't queue. I also ordered some stuff from Amazon. I ordered this stuff last week or beginning of the week. Amazon seemed to have got really slow with dispatching stuff. They seem to wait a week to dispatch stuff now. I feel like that's to make you pay for Prime. So I did actually buy some other games. I got P for Pizza, which is a word game. Should be quick and easy. Also got, this is what I got to try and introduce us to board games. It's called What's Next, and it's kind of like an adventure game, and you can work cooperatively with this one. I think this is one where it's a bit limiting with how many times you can play it. This is kind of the introduction to board gaming that I want to try before I try the other two that I have. And then I got Everdell, which, again, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it's won a load of awards, but look at the graphics on this. I think this again is some sort of city building one. I'm not sure, but it looked really cute, so I have that to try also. Hello, I have not been feeling the best, so I haven't really been filming. Jumping back into it today, still not feeling great. I've just had very, very low mood. I'm not feeling particularly enthusiastic about anything lately, except for the book I have been reading, which is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I have this on ebook, but I fancied reading a physical book, so I picked it up from the library. I am quite a way into this already. I mean, it's been a few days. We've been reading it for days. I'm on chapter 23, page 382 out of about 480 pages. I'm really enjoying it. It's really, really good. Now, I definitely lied in one of my previous videos when I said that I haven't read many sci-fi, because I mentioned it to Andy and he kindly pointed out that I have read plenty of sci-fi, including the sci-fi that is Dune. Although I did DNF Dune, so that's probably why it was not in my brain. I've read a couple of the Becky Chambers books, which are cozy sci-fi. I've also read... I have the worst memory. I cannot remember. I have read multiple sci-fis though, and I said I hadn't read any. That's just because my brain drew a blank, because I'm rubbish. I think this is my favourite, like, full-on sci-fi so far. I'm finding this really easy to read. It has a lot of science in, but he explains all of the science, so even if like sometimes I'm reading it and there's like numbers and mathematics and calculations and I'm like ugh, but then like after he like does it, he kind of explains like what it means. So he doesn't just say the maths, he says, and that means that this is what's happening, and you're like, oh, I see. So it's really, really good in the way that it has a lot of science, and I feel like I'm learning things. I feel like I'm actually learning from this book. It's real science that he's using, but he also has like his fiction part, which is like not real, but still seems really, really real and scientific. Like, it's so good. It's really funny. It's got a lot of sarcasm in. I love the main character. This book starts with our main character waking up. And he wakes up, he doesn't know where he is, he cannot remember who he is, and he wakes up on a spaceship. And so the first section of the book is him trying to figure out, where is he? Why is he there? Who is he? And it's just really, really fun. It does have a lot of flashbacks as he's remembering things that have happened to him in the past, and kind of unveiling the story and the reason he's there, and it's just really, really good. I am going to dive into some spoilers right now, so if you don't want any spoilers for this book, if you haven't read it yet, just skip ahead. I'll put a little bar at the bottom indicating that this is the spoiler section, so you can just skip to the end. For those of you that are still watching, who are happy to have spoilers or have already read this book, I am in love with Rocky. Rocky is like the cutest, most adorable, amazing freaking rock I've ever met. I love his personality. I love that he says thank instead of thanks. I love that he's like constantly ripping into our main character. Do you know what? I always forget our main character's name. It's Dr. Grace. Ryland. We'll say Dr. Grace. The way that Rocky is always ripping into Dr. Grace and telling him he's stupid or crazy. And like telling him what to do. Like, no, you need to sleep. You are going to put us in danger. Go to sleep. I love him. He's so cute. And he saved him. He saved him. I don't want anything to happen to this character. In fact, I don't want anything to happen to either of these characters. I don't want them to return to their home planets. I want them to just stay in the spaceship together forever and live happily ever after. That is what I want. Obviously, that's not the way the book's gonna go, but that's what I want. Also, I just love that, like, he named him Rocky, and then when they were naming the planet and Rocky said, oh, he mentioned he had a mate, and then he said to Dr. Grace, you name the planet, and Dr. Grace was like, okay, we'll name it Adrian. After Rocky's mate, who is not called Adrian, but it's the Rocky Adrian. It was funny. Andy did not get that joke, but like, say the joke was like here. Andy got the joke about here. We're buddy reading this, so he suddenly turned around to me and he was like, I don't know why this has only just occurred to me. He called it Adrian because it's Rocky and Adrian from like the Rocky films. I haven't even seen Rocky and I got the joke straight away. So yeah, I'm on chapter 23 now. I You can have 100 pages left. I don't know where this is going to go in 100 pages. Like, I'm slightly worried that this can't wrap up, or that it's not going to have an ending that I'm going to be happy with. But so far, like, the whole read has been just so enjoyable. I feel like I might have to pick up a physical copy of this to keep on my shelves. Also, this is from the library, and there's like the last person that had this book, I don't know what they were doing, but there's like sesame seeds under the plastic cover, and like I don't want to take it off because I don't want to interact with the food that is underneath this cover. But yeah, there's some lovely morsels. This book has just made me cry laugh. Like, I'm crying. I'm crying. I literally just like cackled out loud. Rocky just said fist me. He means like a fist bump. I'm obsessed. My subscription from Inkstone Books just arrived, so I figured while we're here, may as well have a sneak peek. And the book is The Water Outlaws, and it has a digitally sprayed edge. Inkstone's quite new, so I don't think they have much in terms of customizations yet on their books. They're kind of just getting started with it, so hopefully they'll be able to expand on that and do more like what Goldsboro have been doing with theirs. It is hand signed as well by the author. Disgraced, tattooed as a criminal, and on the run from an imperial marshal who will stop at nothing to see her dead, Lin Chong is recruited by the bandits of Ling Shan, mountain outlaws on the margins of society. The Ling Shan bandits proclaim a belief in justice for women, for the downtrodden, for progressive thinkers a corrupt empire would imprison or destroy. They're also murderers, thieves, smugglers, and cutthroats. Apart, they love like demons and fight like tigers. Together, they could bring down an empire. Sounds good to me. Time to read the last 50 pages of Project Hail Mary. Wish me luck. What page you on?
450.
Okay. Just popping in to let you know that the next section of the vlog includes footage of me and Andy discussing Project Hail Mary. So this whole next section is full of spoilers, so if you haven't read the book and you do want to read it and you don't want any spoilers, just skip over the next section of the vlog. There will be a little spoiler bar at the bottom, so once that bar's gone, you are safe to watch again without spoilers. What did you think?
Yeah, it was good.
The bit that's annoying me is, did the people on Earth know what happened?
What do you mean towards
Will
the
they
decision
know?
he made?
Will they know that he was the only survivor, that he met an alien, and that the only reason they're alive is because of him and the alien?
He didn't really explain how much information they got.
That's the only thing that's annoying. Like, I want to know if like they knew that he did it all.
I actually thought, because this was written in first person, almost like a diary entry, isn't it? Like he's talking about himself, it's all me, I, and whatever. I thought that towards the end of the book, or the way it would end, was it's him logging what happened.
I thought he was gonna die, or Rocky was gonna die. Like, I thought someone was gonna die.
I thought in some way it was going to loop it right around and make out like the book was a record of what happened that he'd recorded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm very happy. It was very good, very good. and obviously very well researched and all seemed very plausible. There wasn't any moments where like I was taken out of the book and thought, what won't make sense or whatever. The first goodbye was so brief and felt a bit kind of like, oh, it's happened, but obviously it wasn't the actual end, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't the
Do you think
last
that
time
like gave it away a bit?
No, it didn't make me suspect. I felt a bit bereft and I thought, oh, maybe that was just
feel like a long enough goodbye.
It did no, but then again, it was kind of like it was a product of the situation in that they couldn't embrace, they couldn't linger, they had to get back.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like they were just forced apart.
But then didn't he say it was like 16 years or something? He spent 16 years on their planet.
Yeah, but at the very end, he's been there for 16 years.
16 years of his best friend?
Eating me burgers.
If other sci-fis can be like this, I would say I like sci-fi.
It's a book that I think anybody could pick up and read.
I would also have wanted to know like what actually happened on Earth. Like, did they all fight or did they all work together? Like, I would have liked to know. Well,
it's already. I mean, I think obviously the point is that he's not going to know. There's no way for him to know. And it's kind of left it. There is a few bits of mystery to it, but obviously the deductions he makes are very sound, though, aren't they? Because there's no way that they would have found a solution. He now knows from the information he received at the end that everything worked out fine. In the ending that the solution at least was implemented, there was a moment in there where I was really concerned about what he was going to do, because I didn't think far enough ahead that, oh, you can still save both if he's willing to sacrifice himself. I thought he was literally going to be at a point where he was just going to have to, he would know that Rocky was going to die and his whole planet was going to die and still have to go, and he was in, you know what I mean? But obviously we've got the best of both worlds.
It was clever at the start of that chapter as well, because it wasn't obvious what he'd chosen straight away when it was saying that he was using the petroscope. When he was using that and then he said he saw the light, I didn't twig at first. I thought he was talking about, he was looking at Rocky's ship and that he'd not gone for him, and I was like, no. And then you realise he's not looking at Rocky, he's looking at the Beatles.
The Beatles, yeah.
And that he's going the other direction. Or on the bit when he was alone on his own spaceship and he was like, I need to go to sleep now, but it feels weird sleeping without having someone watch.
I want a friend like Rocky.
I want a Rocky. What are you giving it?
Yeah, 5 stars.
5-star read. Good morning. I thought I would give you a little update on my reading and some other stuff that's been going on just while I have my morning cup of tea. Before I started Project Hail Mary, I was reading Cruel Illusions by Margie Fuston. This is one of the fairy loot books from, I don't know if it's last year or the year before. This is described as Buffy the Vampire meets Caraval. And I feel like it does not meet either of those expectations. So far, I have read, I'm like halfway through this. This is a big book as well. This is like 500 pages, and I am on page 230. So I've read almost half, and I still feel like nothing has happened. We get introduced to our main character. Very quickly, she discovers this circus troupe, and very early on, is integrated into it, and she's told that she has to take part in this competition to see if she can continue to be part of this troupe of circus folk that have magic and also hunt vampires. She's very anti-vampire, she wants to kill the vampires, and she's very excited about this opportunity. But we're now halfway through the book and the competition hasn't even started. We're halfway through this book. We've had 230 pages of just very repetitive, like, oh, this character needs to get ready for this competition, but she's not really any good. And I'm so bored. I've DNF'd. I have finally given up on this book and DNF'd it. So next, I was like, I need something that's going to grab my interest, man. And I picked up Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This is also 500 pages. I've been reading this for less time than I was reading Cruel Illusions, and I am on page 338, and I'm like 2/3 of the way through this book, in much less time. So I think that says it all. I'm still trying to learn when I should DNF. I'm not a big DNF person, but I'm trying to get better at it. My problem is, once I've spent so much time reading a book, I want to finish it. Like, I've already committed, like, especially with this one, I was halfway through it. I pushed to halfway. I shouldn't have pushed to halfway. I should have just DNF'd sooner, and I wouldn't have had this issue of having read half of the book. But I'm always like, if I haven't read that much of it, I'm like, but what if it gets better? Like, some of my favourite books I wasn't into at the start, and they ended up being favourites. So it's really hard. I mean, Akatar, the series, I did not enjoy that whole first book, but I love that series. That was worth it for book 2. But yeah, no, definitely DNFing Cruel Illusions. I don't care about the characters either. Even if we do get some action in there and some stakes. Stakes. Buffy. Yeah. I feel like I don't care. I don't care. Magnolia Parks, I am enjoying. This to me is like the enjoyment I get from watching trash TV and reality TV. In a good way. I'm very much enjoying this. It's very dramatic. It's basically like Gossip Girl if it was set in the UK and mostly based around the romance between two of the characters. I think if you're into fashion, you'll really enjoy this book, just because every time a character enters a room, it's like described what they're wearing. I do watch a fashion vlogger on YouTube, have done for a few years now, and I feel like because of watching her videos, I feel like I have a good idea of what some of the characters are wearing when they mention some of the designer items in this book, so that's been very helpful for me. But yeah, I think if you're into fashion, you'll find this quite fun, with it telling you what everyone's wearing all the time. Anyway, in this book, we're following our main character, Magnolia Parks, who is and has been in love with a boy whose nickname is BJ. They dated for 5 years and then broke up because he cheated on her. They kind of just dance around each other. They're like in this big friend group, and they're like rich, and so they have a small group of friends. They all went to boarding school together, etc. So they're kind of just dancing around each other this whole time, because she doesn't trust him and she doesn't want to get back with him, but at the same time she still loves him, and he still loves her, even though he's like having sex with every man and his dog. Very, very dramatic. Very toxic, but it's fun. It's fun. It's kind of like reality TV, but in book form. I wouldn't say it's like anything groundbreaking, like writing wise. I know Hannah's recent reads and Raven-haired reader loved this book. They tabbed it a lot. They thought the writing was extremely beautiful. It's okay. It's not Frederick Batman. Let's just say that. It's not Frederick Batman. I'll hopefully finish this soon and be able to tell you my final thoughts, but so far so good. Speaking of recent events, which I have not filmed any of, we went into Leeds at the weekend. We were walking down one of the little lanes, and we walked past a like tattoo piercing place. They had a sign outside that said like walk-ins, 2 piercings for £35, and I've wanted to get a second piercing on my ear for like years now, and I just never deal with it. I never book it. I never inquire anywhere, and all of a sudden I was just kind of like, why don't I just go in here and get my ears done? And I stood outside for like 5 minutes, and then Andy eventually convinced me to go inside. I did need convincing. We got up, went upstairs. There was like no one at the reception desk. We stood there for a few minutes, and then I chickened out, and I was like, no, I'm going. I'm not doing it. Ran away from the tattoo place. Walked around, shopped a bit, bought some more games, which I will show you in just one moment. And then ended up after that plucked up the courage to go back to the tattoo place, and I got my piercings. I was terrified. I haven't had them done since I was like a child. I'm talking like primary school. I had them done. I remember we had to leave after having one done because it hurt and I started crying. And so we left and then came back later on in the day to get the other one done after I'd calmed down. So, you know, got a bit of childhood trauma there for the piercings. But I went in, I got them done, and so I have 2 more piercings in my ears. I'm having to sleep on my back because I like did a bit of research after I'd got them done. And it turns out that you shouldn't sleep on your side. I am a side sleeper. But you shouldn't sleep on your side because it can make them crooked and increase the time it takes to heal. I don't know. So I've been sleeping on my back for the last 4 days and it's driving me insane. I hate it. I don't want to sleep on my back. I'm actually like surprised that I wake up on my back after going to sleep on my back. Like I thought I'd roll and move around, but apparently not. I also grind my teeth at night, so apparently sleeping on your back is also good for that. Side sleeping is not great for if you are grinding your teeth. I just do everything wrong, apparently. It's time to close up this vlog and have a little quick chat about Magnolia Parks. I have finished it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was a really fun read. It wasn't a 5-star read for me, but it was very engaging, very dramatic. I enjoyed the storyline. I felt like the ending was rushed. The book is 500 pages. I feel like for a 500-page book, you could have made it a little bit longer and given a more satisfying ending. It just kind of felt like everything was crammed in right at the end. Apart from that, it flowed really well. It kept my attention. I feel like with this book, I wasn't sure whether I was rooting for the characters or not. I feel like I wasn't rooting for them, but at times I also was. If you like romance and you like tension in your romance, and a bit of toxicity. For me, like, I don't think this was spicy. I don't think it had any detailed scenes. There were scenes, but they weren't detailed. I think I was kind of rooting for our fake dating guy more than the main guy in this book. There are 2 more Magnolia Parks sequels. One isn't out yet. The second one is out. I do have it. I'm waiting for the old style cover for the final one because these got new covers from the printer and I don't like the new covers, and I've collected the indie editions with the nice soft touch cover, so I do want the matching one, and they said they are doing it, so I'm going to be keeping my eye out for that. Also, there was a casualty. I was eating an ice cream and it was warm and the ice cream melted and some of the chocolate landed in my lap and I didn't notice, and then I was pouring myself a drink and the book slid from my knee into the ice cream. And so when I picked it back up, it was covered in chocolate. So I now have dirty pages. It kind of looks more like a coffee stain. I don't drink coffee. But I'm kind of annoyed about that. Like, I like to keep my books pristine, and I've just been having some accidents lately. I now understand why people don't read their special editions, because I've been having some accidents with my books. Anyway, that is everything for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time.